Okay, good afternoon, gents. Sorry about that. I forgot to set my stream up last night. I ended up watching something, and I ran down for me tea after I finished trading. Ended up watching something, and I completely forgot all about it. So I went to click on it now and noticed there is it. So there we go. So I hope everyone's okay. I have been looking at this quite a strong downtrend we got going on there. I have tried messing around with something like this, but until we come up and touch it again, it's sort of, we've only sort of, if I do it from those two swings, see, it'd be down here, so I'm not really sure what's going on there, so I've just left it for the time being, but whether we're going to get more of that for throughout the rest of the day or not, I don't know. So there is some news in about 30 minutes, just over 30 minutes, hence I put that there today. And also, I thought it was tomorrow, but it's the last day of the Apex 90% off. So as you can see, I put a thing on there just in case anyone forgets. They're cheap at the moment. I just picked up another one myself this morning, so they're like $15 or something, $16 or something. So there you go. So that's there anyway. So we got in at the moment. Indy, how you doing? What, how you doing, bud? Almost got worried there when I was starting to consider myself. Yeah, I'm all right. Ionis, how you doing? Sunny, how you doing, bud? NC, I thought you held into my. I didn't. That's what I've been saying. But apparently, they finish. I've gone onto Apex to pick one up. Let me just double check. And they said it was finishing at midnight tonight. Let me just have a checky. No, I'll say what it is. I've had an email. Let me have a look. I'll find it. Where is it? Not that one. Here we go. Yeah, I had that earlier on. Ends tonight on the day of the 6th at midnight. So you got till midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight. But yeah, I thought it was tomorrow for some reason, but it's tonight. So I thought I'd put that down on the bottom. So in case anybody thinks it's tomorrow. But even that 10% surprisingly makes a difference. It goes down from $33 to $60. You wouldn't think it would half, would you? I don't know. I'm getting my maths wrong, I think, but there we go. So, if I missed anyway. So, Penguin has a large downtrend from the top. How do you see his chart? Oh, he's what's it in, isn't he? He's, yeah, I have had that there. But usually, you go off the first two swings, and we haven't really. So, we've only really touched it once. So, I was going to wait for it to come up here and see what happens. But we've had a push up, we've had a break. If we can make a couple of attempts to go higher, we may come down even more. But we'll keep it on that anyway. So let me have a look. Sunny, wait for bottom formation to take position for 44.66 up here. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had just a downtrend a chunk of the day. I don't know why it's only showing so many days. Let me have a look. 3 days. I usually have about 6. Let's do 6. Let's do 5 days. No, let's do 7. I'm sure Mac does 7. So look. So that should give us some. That's a bit better. Yeah, we haven't really had much in the way of a good strong downtrend all day. Which, excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Let's let's keep it on that. Market is opening in about 2.5 minutes. So if I missed, highlight that target. Sunny. Have a look. 44 to 35 to 44.30. You're on about the bottom. 44. 44.35 to 44.30. Is that what you're saying? So look, yeah. May make bottom here. Okay, so around that sort of area. Yeah. It's been. Okay, where are we? I'm blabbering on a bit now. Let's have a look. Good morning, Lance and all. Exponential Trader, how you doing, bud? Randolph, good morning, good afternoon, traders. What he's looking for shorts, if it goes back up to the key entry point. I got you. I do wonder what he's on about sometimes. I think he's a little bit more technically advanced to me. I'm talking about you, Sunny. So, good afternoon, lads. Okay. I was actually, I carried on trading later and ended up getting my money back actually. So it worked out a good day. But I was on what's its site? Was it the Nutty guy, the Nutty Trade? I was on his stream and I was just chatting because he trades quite late. I was just chatting with him and there was a few other streamers on there actually. Travis trades with Travis. He was on there and there was a few of us on there having a chat. Actually, it's quite nice. So yeah, interesting. Also, I was trying to give myself a little bit of a pep talk last night, and I looked at the video that Vince made when Apex interviewed Vince, and he was talking about his big payouts and that. And what I didn't realise, he had $200,000 accounts, but he only ever traded 2 to 3 contracts on each one of them. Strangely enough, so I'm assuming he intended on trading a lot more, but yeah, that's what he said he did. 2-3 times, but he did say he blew many accounts, and so many times he'd say he'd get stopped out of a trade and he'd jump straight back in, and he did that again and again and again. And I think he's been trading for about 5 or 6 years. So, but interesting guy. He sort of looks quite steely-eyed. But he said he had real problems with revenge trading and just jumping in and blowing accounts. So it just goes to show someone who can, draw $800,000 out of an account in a month, has been through the same sort of torture, torment, and stupidity that we all have. So I kind of like reading stuff like that. So there you go. Nutty Bar has become the after club to me. Yeah, there was a few of us. There was me. There was Trades. Is it Travis Trades? Trade by Travis, something like that. And there was another guy on there, but we had quite a nice little chat actually. So there you go. So right, let's have a look at this. I think market. Yeah, it's open. It's moving a little bit quicker. So let's see. Let's be aware that news. It is. I mean, we had the NFP this morning, which you'd never have guessed, would you? But we've got this, the ISM services and Jilt job openings. So we'll see what's going on. Sorry, it's all right. I've got the cricket playing on my phone. That's all. I just drifted off. Sorry about that. Okay, so what's going on here now at the moment? So, you guys are on about, so Sunny, what? Help me out here. Sunny's on about going short in these areas, is he? Let's have a look. Push, trying to go on. So we're trying to work higher, aren't we? Sometimes when Sunny mentions these areas, I don't know whether he's on about shorting to them or shorting from them or going long from them, whatever. Okay, so maybe get another drop here. Let's have a look. Let's just get. I think this looks like it's starting to tip. Let's have a look. Wait for bottom formation to take position at 44. Good afternoon. Just bought 5 accounts with your code. That is much appreciated, David. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It does run out today, as I was saying. It was yesterday. It was tomorrow. Sorry, it was tomorrow. There's a second entry. No, it's not quite. But yeah, I did think it was coming down a bit, but it was a bit congested there. So I'm trying to be a bit extra cautious, but. We may get a really bearish day today, who knows? Let's have a look. I mean, we have got liquidity down as far as 35 that I can see. We've just got a load of volume coming, which is taking that down. He's looking to short it if it goes back up to the key entry point in the down. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I got you. Yes, now 44.44. You can short for 44.35. Yeah, it's just too far away there for me to short that, really. I need to catch it here. I was looking at it here, but the trouble is it is a little bit congested there. So you just don't know, do we? We've had this push up. Usually, the more attempts we make to push up that are still lower, you know, that are lower every time, then generally we'll tip off. But it's just a little bit congested there. And I've taken trades like that and got trapped before and ended up ticking above me and then dropping. But it is frustrating when you see that move. But everything's looking pretty bearish. Hello. Well, hey, Sam. How you doing, buddy? So let's try and figure out what's going on. It's looking very bearish, isn't it? I suppose it's overdue. We haven't had a day like this for a while. Whether it continues or whether it will eventually turn into a range day, excuse me, and push up. Who knows? Done. Yep. You're not wrong, mate. So there is still some liquidity there. So whether we'll come up a bit more and trigger below before we push back up, who knows? Oh, sort of. Okay, maybe 1-2 legs back up. Could not even get once we get above the EMA. It's the trouble when it's such a big downtrend, you can't fit it all on the board, really, can you? When I've had a spare screen, I've had an overall bigger picture above my head, but at least we know where the top of the channel is, and let's get a bit closer. Excuse me. Can have 2 legs up here. I was browsing through some of my earlier videos when I first started streaming, sort of 6-7 months ago. I tend to go for around about the 2 points, but what I was doing back then is I was taking a short and I was just dragging my take profit and following it down my stop, and I seemed to be able to make more money that way. Yes, I lost the odd trade that backtracked on me, but I think still overall it was a better option, so I may go back to that depending. Obviously, you know, if you trade in a tight range of 4 or 5 points, it's not that easy, but I am shortly starting a new batch of training for that. Oh, you mentioned that yesterday, didn't you? Yeah, so I might go back to that. 1, 2. Oh. Yes, I may hold on to them a little bit more. Obviously depending, but if we're in a big downtrend and I take a short here, and we've had one leg down, a 2-leg correction, they're the times I might hold on a bit, because, I mean, I did look at that one there. It's a little bit congested. If I'd have taken that and I'd taken 2 points, I'd have been out here when we had that big move. Trouble is, because I'm trading 2 contracts, I haven't got the luxury of being able to trade a runner. So I think what I might do is just bring my profit mark down here, and when it does push to maybe 3 or 4 points, is drop me stop in at 2 points, so at least I've secured myself a 2-point scalp, and then just follow it down as it moves. So I may go back to doing that way. I seem to average around about $450 on a trade. I had £800 day, $800 days, $1,000 days, $800 days. I haven't had a day like that since I started going for the 2 points. So I may start doing that. And I know it's a bit different than Mac. Mac does a combination of a scalp and a runner, but unfortunately I haven't got... I can't trade enough contracts really to be able to do that. You really want to be trading 4 contracts before you think about trading a runner, in my opinion. Okay, so we come down 2 legs back up. So let's see what we get here. So see if we can get a break and maybe a bounce off here and then a lower high or something. Yeah, if you get if you're getting a nice trending day, it frustrates me sometimes just taking 2 points. You know, if you take a trade in, it just comes down and comes down. So as I say, what I might do is wait for it to hit the 4 point and then jam me stop it and try and secure myself a couple of points and see if I can't. Okay, so there is a second entry short there, but just a bit concerned about that. Could be a leg, a break and a leg. I'd prefer to maybe take the lower high if we get something. So you take 2 points and out. Yeah, I seem to. Whereas before, when I started, if I was taking a short here, I'd bring me profit down here, wait for it to drop past the 4 points, and then I'd jam me stop in somewhere. So I'd sort of guarantee myself 4 points, and if it went lower, I'd just bring me sort of stop down at the top of each bar. And I seem to be able to get better profits that way. I looked at some of my earlier, and my average day was sort of around about the $500 to $600. I seem to be struggling to do that now. You know, there's a lot less offerings nowadays, isn't there? And I'm not saying I'm going to do that every time. Because as I say, if we're trading a range day and we've got, 6 points from top to bottom, it's not that simple. That might be an option just to keep the 2 points. But I think, we often see when we had this, look, we had that leg down and a bit of sideways and another leg down. So if, as Max says, enter on correction. So if we get a leg down like that and then a 2-legged correction, chances are we're going to have another measured leg. So it seems a shame if you can get in really early just to take 2 points. Now, if I could trade 5 contracts or 4 contracts, then I'd scalp some. So there is a second entry short there. It's made a double top. It's made a double top. There's probably going to be some stops here and here. We've had a break of that, made a double top. So I don't want to be too greedy here. Let's come out. Let's have a look. There's probably going to be some stops there. I've got some major slippage there. I'm going to get out of this. Let's go for break even here. Because I've just seemed to have had some major slippage there. Push, just drop, come on. Don't come back to me. Don't come back on me. Come on. we can push below there, there's going to be a few stops there. So I think we may be okay.
Order filled.
Okay. That was a bit precarious there. I jumped in here and I seemed to get quite a bit of slippage. Anyway, I got $150 out of that. That was fine. So we had a push up, we had a break, and I like the fact, because we're trending down, we had if you start from here, first entry, that was a failure which triggered and then came down. Now I think we're going to probably push and make a new low, but I seem to have such a lot of slippage here and I didn't like that. It was about here. Perhaps it wasn't as much risk as I thought initially. The ATR is really low at the moment. It was a lot higher than that. Okay, so I got out for 6 ticks anyway. That's better than a kick in the teeth. Okay, so that's a start anyway. So push out. I mean, we really seem to be trending strongly down at the moment. Since we've opened, we've come down, what, sort of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 45, 48, nearly 50 points. Has that made a new low yet, has it? Yeah, I'm going to go back to the way I used to do it. Let it push down as long as I think it's got room to go down, and then just drop me stop in maybe at 2, 3 points or 4 points, and then if it continues down, then great. Once it breaks this low, I think we'll come down a little bit more. I think we will. There we go. So yeah, it seems really. Now I got in, I think it was about here. So there was what that went down 5.5 points. So even if I'd have dropped my stop in there and then followed it down, usually when we have a big push like that, big quick push, a lot of the time it reverses a bit as well and gets most of it back. So what I tend to do was when we get that big push, I usually drop it in. Now, normally if I'd have taken that there, I'd have dropped that somewhere around about the 5 points, which is giving me a lot more than I've been taking lately. Now we have got some news coming up now, so let's be careful. Some's going to stay out at the moment. So look, we got 6 ticks anyway, so I just don't like the way I seem to get in down here, so let's have a look. So plus let's make sure I'm out. Ooh, got another PA account which is just under $10 away. What I might do is $10. I have got that down as one contract, so I'll just leave it there. Okay, so that worked out all right. Because it's so strong, I like the fact that we've got a push up, we've got a failure there which triggered and then came down. So I like that. Bottom formation generally takes 2 higher highs. Retest the bottom, then again we make another 2 waves, either lower. But there's a range smaller. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, I like that because purely and simply because it triggered above there, and there was a failure there. Fell second entry short. And obviously, we're moving strongly down at the moment. So when we broke above and I saw that bearish bar, that was coming down for me. So yeah, I was looking through the videos, and my average points, sometimes I got as much as 8 or 9, sometimes I got 3, but I seem to average about 4.5 points profit And at the moment, I seem to be averaging, obviously with the exception of this, around about 2 points profit. Now, let's have a look. This one looks like a trap. Yeah, it looks like it's fake. Let's have a look. Once, twice. I mean, at some point you'd be thinking triple test, but really we've pushed through that. That's the first test. Anyway, last night, later this evening, we had a move down here like this, and then 1, 2, 3 triple tests, and I was surprised I the only one marked it. Thomas Wade didn't mark it. The Penguin guy didn't mark it. I thought it was a beauty. And then when I watched Mac, he marked it and thought it was a great trade. I don't know, sometimes some people miss it, but we had a push down like that, and it came up once, twice, 3 times. It pushed up, dropped strongly. It couldn't be more perfect, and it tanked. I got 4.5 points off that one. But no one marked it for some reason, so go figure. I can see it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, that was it there. I thought it was a beauty trade. We had that push down and we came back up once, twice, 3 times. Nice big bearish bar. Mac marked it. No one else marked it for some reason. So for me, we're pushing down. So we got a leg down. We tried 1, 2, 3 times to get up. And look at that. It dropped like a stone. I got 4.5 points out of that. But that is a beautiful triple test. We'd had this area as the sort of top and we were coming down, but no one marked it, oddly enough. But yeah, I'm going to go back to my waiting for it to drop. Now, I won't do it every time. Sometimes I will just take 2 points, or in some cases maybe a little bit less. Because obviously in a strong downtrend, obviously price is moving down, but you know, if we're sort of moving in a range like this and I pick a top, I don't want to be just waiting. I want to obviously take a couple of points, but in a sort of range. But obviously if we're in a channel and I'm taking something up here, but we often see it. We see a leg up, 2 legs of correction, and then another leg up, almost identical. If I can get in there, as Matt calls it, in on a correction, be ashamed to take 2 points when we see these measured moves so accurate. We get we'll get something like a leg up like that. Leg up, we'll have 2 legs of correction. If you can get in there, it seems a shame just to take 2 points when chances are 80% we're at least going to get close to that, quite often to the nearest tick. So I'm just going to try and adjust my profit accordingly based on the trade. So there is a second entry short there, and there is a lower high there, but we have got this news coming up, so I'm going to sit tight. But yeah, I was looking at my older trades, and although I took a few more risky trades picking tops, which I tend to not do as much now, my profits on average were higher. So leg down. So sorry if I'd annoyed everybody there, rabbiting on, harping on a bit, but it is important to look back at your trades, and if something's changed, so I'm definitely taking safer trades now. My patience is better because I watched about 4 or 5 of my videos or clippets of them last night, my early ones, and I'm not taking as risky trades, but I just want to take advantage of these legs because they're so accurate. I saw this one, we had this leg down and a bit of sideways, another leg down. Now there was an entry up here which was sort of a triple test, and I marked it as where I want to take, but obviously it's in that congestion. But if we're expecting another leg down, it seems a shame to take 2 points when chances are we're going to be mega accurate with the legs. Okay, let's just stay out now. Wait for the news. In fact, this news is in about 6 minutes, so I'm just going to make a quick cup of tea. So I'm just going to put that back in 5 minutes. I'll make a quick cup of tea. It's probably going to go a bit sideways, although there is a failure there. But the trouble is, it's the news. If it does trigger and go sideways, I don't really want to get involved in that. So quick cup of tea, and I'll be back. May just be one of those days where we get some good solid downward stuff today. Who knows? I like the way it's come back up. And we started here, close enough here, touch here, came back up, touched and dropped. But we've got this news coming up. Let's have a look. $44.30 done. Now, just be aware this news is coming up in 20 seconds. Is that right? Yeah. So. Okay, there it is. Still some liquidity. Okay, so that might be a lower high. There is a lower high there. It's a bit congested at the moment, so. But I do expect some more downward stuff. Yeah, there we go. Okay, some liquidity at 77, so we'll see. Yeah, there is some strong liquidity down here. I would have expected to hit that. So try and go one strike twice failure. Not sure about this. A bit congested. It could be a bit. Could be a fail. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence here. I can't see us having a break of this channel yet. Anyway, so from what I'm see, the trouble is what sort of confused me sometimes. Sunny is thinking short. You're thinking long, Sunny, aren't you? But to me, we haven't had a break of this channel yet. And normally when we have a break, we make a new low. Now, we're not necessarily making a new low because it could just be the bottom of a range, but there is a double bottom here, so it is possible it's going to break out, but I don't know. I just can't go long in this downtrend at the moment. So, okay, so there's double bottom there, higher low, which is triggered. So if that breaks below there, I'd expect a little bit more downward stuff, but we'll see. I mean, in a downtrend, to me, that would be a mistake because I wouldn't be surprised if that comes down and triggers out. So many times we'll see that. We'll see a bar in a certain direction. Someone might, oh, okay, yeah, double bottom, let's go long here. But I think the overall picture is we're moving downwards. And so many times you'll see these and they'll just come down and stop them out. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know, but there's a triple bottom, so I don't know. I wouldn't like to be in that trade. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but So yeah, we're clearly getting congested anyway at the moment. So let's have a look. Actually, let's put that at the bottom. That fits nice. Let's drop that a touch. So if anybody did buy that, I would say it's probably going to stop it out because there may be some long stops. Yeah, some long stops there, long stops there. There is some strong liquidity, so I'd expect it to get close to that. There is some at 27, which is picked up now, so it may, or I expect it to sort of get closer to here. See, we're still coming down at the moment. I've had no other indication that we're doing anything bar coming down because we started up here, touched here, it's working down here. So to me, it's bearish at the moment. I generally don't search for a bottom to form. I decide position to enter. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but it's clearly sort of working down here. Now, whether it'll fizzle out and move up at some point, you know, it can't go down forever. But we may, you know, it's been a while since we've had a day where it's just trended all day. It's been generally bouncing all over the place lately. It's been, in my opinion, it's been some of the, you know, I've only been trading this style for a little over 2 years, but it's some of the toughest conditions I've found. And when I say tough conditions, I mean lack of opportunities. So many times we'll get a lovely channel down, we'll have a break of it, and we just sometimes it'll go up to it and we won't get a decent setup. Sometimes it'll break and won't even get near it, but it's just like almost like somebody's just said, okay, from now on don't show any entries, you know, that max strategies follow. So it's it sounds a bit idiotic, and it is, but you know what I'm saying. So for me, we're still working down at the moment. Now, whether we'll continue or not, I don't know yet, but it's not really. Obviously, there was a bit of that news spike there. You may have took that lower high, but it was just a little bit too close to the news for me. But if you had it done, well, you'd still be in this trade now, but there was a second entry short there. It's not so much a triple test. You may call that 2 pushes up and then another go, but I don't know. But I think the better trade would be maybe the lower high, which worked as well, but I didn't like the stem. And obviously we've got the news coming up, and so sometimes it's just better to sit out. But what I have to be aware is I only really need 1 trade a day to make a really nice living. You make 1 trade, even averaging 2 points, times 10, that's $2,000 a day on 10 accounts. You have 20, well, you can do the math. Okay, it came down to that level where I expected. Now, there is some down as far as 20 now, so yeah, it's been a while since we've had a day like this. I can't remember when we've had a really strong trend downwards. We've gone up, we've gone sideways, we've gone up, we've gone sideways. But it's been a while since we've had a really down day, so obviously things can't go up forever. I mean, if you look obviously on a big or on the daily, at some point you're going to have some down days. We can't just keep going up. So I know cryptos, where's my phone? I know cryptos had a pump this morning. I think Bitcoin's at its all-time high. So, it's taken a bit of a dip now, but it did go up to an all-time high. All-time high. I mean, since obviously we've, this year, shall I say, since we've obviously sort of seen to have bottomed out, 31.4 it went up to. But I do have some cryptos. I've got some Cardano, some HBAR, some Solana, some Polygon, a bit of Saitama, although that might be stretching it a bit, and a few others, less known ones. But I keep hearing lots of rumours about maybe we're starting to work out maybe 15,000 was the bottom. Who knows? Yeah, it's strong down at the moment. It's hard to go long in this, really. Well, if you ask Mac, you shouldn't be going long in this. I like to draw these smaller ones as well, because they can help you out. So if we can get a second entry there, there's no sign of it stopping anyway. At some point we'll probably have a break, but if we have a break, it may turn into a slightly wider channel, who knows? I mean, it's quite wide as it is. Trouble is, the further down you go, the less you want, to enter. But okay, we're still coming down to about the same area. We seem to be working in this little section here, so we've had a drop there. If we can get a push up there, maybe a second entry short, then I'm happy to go short there. So strong liquidity at between 20 and 22, which is this area here. So if we can get somewhere, I expect to get down here. So there is a second entry short there, but it's, I don't know, it's a bit too far away, and it's finished very close. It's literally 2 ticks from the low. It may just push straight past it, but makes it a little bit extra risky, that really. I like it to at least touch the EMA. Oof, there we go. So if you did take that lower high, you just got shafted. And I'd say quite lightly, your stop just grew by a few extra ticks there. So it just looked a little bit precarious, that did. Once it broke over there, technically it's a second entry short, but too far from the EMA. And obviously, by the way, that shot up. If you'd put that style, I've had this before in the past. If your stop would have been there, I dare say you've probably added half a point on that stop, because that literally just jumped. But it's weird. Why all of a sudden would it turn there? Is there any reason for it? Who knows? Probably some reason somewhere. Is there a bigger measured leg here? I don't know. It's hard to put measured leg in here apart from there and there. Well, it hit that 25 anyway, which was, funnily enough, right about here. And there was a lot of liquidity there, hence buy orders. So whether it's people taking profits or what. The way that shot up, I don't want to be thinking about taking a short here. Excuse me. Okay, so we've got a leg, breaking a leg. So maybe we'll get some down. I don't know. This may turn into the bottom of a range. Or it's possible. May turn into something like that. Actually, maybe that might just be one leg and another leg, because it's only really touched once because of that. It never touched that second swing, so I'd say this could possibly end up being something like. Hold on a minute. Something like that. No. Okay, even if it is something slightly wider, this is an area where it would bounce off, and we have had a second entry. It is a second entry short there, and we've had a leg breaking a leg, so I would say this will be an area where it will probably work down, but I don't know, the way that pushed up strongly. I don't think I'm comfortable going short, how strong that pushed up. But usually after a channel, all I'm wondering is maybe I've got this channel slightly wrong. I don't know. I'd like to see Max first, but I'm a bit unsure about going short here. Now, there is a failure there which is triggered, and it looks like it's going to get stopped out. So it may come down. We did have, like, it was almost like a perfect measure, leg one, leg two, leg and a bearish bar. Second entry short, lower high. In my system, Nasdaq and SPY, made by size means it will come up anyway. It's today, tomorrow, yeah. Okay, it does seem like it's working. I'd like to see a failure though, really, before I think about going short again, just in case. But the fact that it was a second entry short, and it was a failure, a failed second entry short, which triggered and then dropped down pretty strongly after a new low. Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? It's just I don't like the way that just pushed up that strong. Why there? There's obviously a reason for it. We didn't have a double bottom. Normal breaks, it would just slowly work up. But the fact that we've had that strong one makes me nervous about going short. Just, I believe, just so hard to trust it. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with how strong that pushed up. That takes, some buy-in and a lot of stops up here. But the trouble is, I thought maybe, if it's a bunch of stops, but it pushed from here, didn't it? It didn't, that bar only went a few ticks past the stops there. So I don't think it was that. It just seemed to be, I don't know, a large amount of buy-in to push that up. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just unsure about going short here. I mean, yeah, you usually make a bottom, but it's not guaranteed. Sometimes you might not. And sometimes we'll make, like, we could end up making something like this. As I mentioned the other day, sometimes these breaks last a lot longer before they eventually work their way up. And we could end up having something like this first before we start working down. It's hard to say. Whereas when I started trading this a couple of years ago, whenever we'd have a little break, we always seem to come down pretty quick, but things just don't seem to be working the same. Strength for the move, important for content. Absolutely. You got to push up strong like that. I'm thinking there's obviously someone buying it to push it that strong. Now, do I really want to battle against those, really want to battle against their large pockets? I mean, perhaps it won't make a difference. Perhaps it was just, we eat up some stops here, a few, and then we take our profits, and then down it comes again. But I don't know. I mean, there is quite a large amount of aggressive sellers, so I don't know, perhaps it will come down. If it comes down from here, then yeah, I'd expect it to, but we could have a leg and a leg. I don't know, it's just something that I feel a little bit unsafe here. That's all. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had something like that, another strong push up again. This is going to the 20s, you reckon, do you? Maybe. Small range, about here. Yeah, it's possible. A lot of the time it'll do that if there's a little bit of uncertainty. I'm not sure it is a range just yet because this is all part of that. Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. If it comes to here and pushes up, bounces again, then yeah, I'd agree with you there. But I mean, the way that pushed up there, I'd say you would think there would be some stops below there, wouldn't you? But if it takes some strong buying really to do that, especially that quick, well, I mean, if it's that strong, will it hold? Who knows? 22.75, that's about there, isn't it? So there is some strong liquidity there, so I don't know. Perhaps it will come down. I don't know. Just after that, though, it's made me a little bit nervous, especially as I'm up at the moment and things. It's when things are all going really well that I get extra cautious, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I just wouldn't be shocked if we got another quick move like that. Perhaps Warren Buffett sat on his computer and that's him. Yeah, if we do break below here, then we may get a quick push. Looks like we're getting it. See if that holds. Yeah, see, my confidence levels can't take, my stress levels can't take that at the moment. See, that's a double bottom there, so that's held, which tells me something. Sometimes these levels end up being really strong, so there is a failure there, but if that triggers, it may push up. It's just interesting the way it's bounced there, so I hope it does, because that'll teach me a lesson. The lesson will be that even if we do have a strong push up, doesn't necessarily mean it won't come down and make a new low. Yeah, so we got a bit of a doji, and it does seem to be struggling a bit there, so if it does break below here, I'd say there's going to be quite a quick push, because now obviously the trouble is traders have bought into there. I don't know. I mean, we put our stop one tick below the signal bar. I know Sandy, I think he puts his 3 points. So just because it'll trigger doesn't necessarily mean it'll push strongly. Sometimes, when I expect it to push strongly, it'll do nothing and it'll move a few ticks and then it'll go, which tells me maybe the stops are a little bit, a little bit further away. So let's see. Just check there's no more news, is there? Nope, all the news is done and dusted. So if we do bounce up here and push up, then maybe we have got a bigger channel going there, bigger range going there. Let's put it back and have a look. Harjit, how you doing, Harjit? Looks like a trend day down might go below. Yeah, it does look like a trend day down, doesn't it? I just hope after this break we continue down, and maybe, I'll tell you what, let's try this again. In fact, let's take it up to, what the hell? Let's take it up to there, maybe there, and bring that down. That fits nice. What does the backside fit nice? Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, maybe we'll see this a lot of the times. It'll make a slightly shallower angle channel, because sometimes when you get a nice trending day, and that actually fits really nice, so I'm going to get rid of this. That just looks like a leg and a leg. In all honesty, that normally you would go off the first swing, and I see Mac did something like this yesterday. So that would be it to me. Touch, touch, touch. This would be a break. And we got something a bit sharper and then something a bit of a less angle. So I'd say I'm going to get rid of that one and just keep that, because touch, 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 touch. The bottom's touching multiple times. So I think that looks okay to me. I don't know what you guys think, but we're going from here. Now, I know it hasn't pushed up, but every time it's struggling to get higher. But if you look at all these, that's lower than that, that's lower than that, that's lower than that, and so on. A little bit of sideways and then lower again. So I'd say, yeah, I think you might be right, Harjit. I can see strong liquidity down to 19 and 20. It doesn't mean it won't go low. What you'll find sometimes is these liquidity levels will just change. They'll go lower and lower, because if you bought up here and you got your profit down here and it still continues, maybe you might continue to bring your you take profit down, and as you take profit down from a short, which is a buy order, then that liquidity starts to generally move down. But at the moment, there is strong liquidity at 22, which is just below this. So it may pop below here and then either carry on or move up. No idea. So the strong liquidity is about 22.5. Which is around about there. About there, let's have a look. 22.75, yeah, it's just below that. And there is some just under, around about 21. There is some just above 19, so it's down as low as here, which funnily enough would be around about where we would hit the bottom. So if you're going to take a trade, it may get a leg down, a little bit of sideways, another leg down. It quite possibly will be. All I know is there's some liquidity levels down there. So, yeah, we could have a leg, couple of corrections, and another leg down. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a strong downtrend for a day. It's been either sideways or up. It is a lot easier, in my opinion, to trade trending days. The range sideways shit just catches me out too much. I think it takes a bit more experience and a little bit more patience taking range days. Well, I know Mac, when I first started trading, I saw a video that says he loves trading them. He just shorts the tops and buys the bottom. Well, it's not always that simple, is it? Maybe if you're more experienced. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all. Hey Chris, how you doing? Don't forget, guys, as you can see, Apex 90% off finishes today. I've been saying it's tomorrow, but it's today. So I thought I'd put that on there in case anybody doesn't. My code's down there, as you well know. If you use it or you have used it, it doesn't cost you anything extra. It is appreciated. Also, as well, there is Replicanto as well down here, 20% off. So if you're looking for a trade copier, the Replicanto one is the same price as Apex, but trust me, it is far superior. So many less problems with it, and it's updated, and it's biased. But that'll take you an extra $30 off, so it'll be $120. So not only is it better than Apex, but you can get it cheaper. So it's there if you want it. I didn't see. I just signed up your code. Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate it. It does allow me. I do make some money from trading. I made $4,000. Well, I withdrew $4,000 last month. And I do get some from the affiliate links, as you know, and what that does is it covers my trading costs. So I do the odd weekend work, and I make a little bit from our trading, and this covers all my trading costs. So it enables me to trade, and hopefully I keep you guys company, and maybe you can learn from my mistakes. Maybe you can compare yours to mine, and hopefully we will help each other out. So if you do use that code, or you have used it at any time in the past, thank you very much. So Harjit 4432 is going to be resistance now. 4432, which is about the top of here, isn't it? We've pushed up once, we've pushed up twice. I mean, if we can get another bounce off here and a break from this, then I'll be interested in shorting that as a triple test. Now, let's see if we got anything from... might be a bit early, but... Yes. Excuse me. If anybody knows how to get an email permanently out of junk, it keeps going to my junk folder. So I have to click not junk. Is there any way I can do it so it doesn't keep going into that junk folder? You'd think when you've transferred it from junk to normal folder, it would learn, wouldn't you? But okay, that little thing is better for me because that's touching and that's not, so I can adjust that a fraction and bring that top down a fraction, and the bottom fits even better. So the trouble is we've touched these two areas now. It does seem to be going a little bit sideways here, so I'll be inclined to maybe leave a short alone here because it's bouncing in this spot. So that could mean we just go a bit sideways. It could mean we just carry on down now, or it could mean maybe we're having a bit of a break. So it's a bit hard to say. So I will be a bit uneasy going short there. I'm not saying it's not going to go down, but just the way it looks like it's bouncing, it looks like it's bottoming to me. So whether it will, I mean, I'd say there's pretty much going to be a few stops below there because that's shut up like a bloody rocket. So it's hard to know, so I would just be a little bit unsure about shorting there. So let's see what Mr. Max gives. Okay. Right, so Mac. Yeah, see, he's got the break. So he had that originally how I had it. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's put that back here. He does go over the top of here, and he comes down from here. So what I'm going to do, at the bottom he's got there. So I'm going to leave that there. I'll just kill any colour there. So perhaps this is just a break and a couple of pushes to a new low. So there is a possibility this is a channel, because obviously just because Mac's done that there doesn't mean he's not going to adjust it to something different. If it continues to go down there, I'd say that channel is then valid. If it now bounces up, I'd say it's probably the bigger channel and we just had a break out of it. So let's see how we go on. If we manage to break below here and continue down, I'd say this pink channel is probably valid. And if it does bounce up and push up, then I'd say this is a break from the bigger and original channel. So we'll see how we get on. So looking at the daily yesterday, we had a big steep drop. Or is that? Oh no, that's at the moment. Yeah, I'll just drag it in quickly. Yeah, that's Max. We've had this big drop. So whether we will continue down or whether we'll bounce up remains to be seen. I have got the bigger channel waiting for a new low. Yeah, which is why I put that there in case this is. So we've had a break of it and we've had some pushes down. So if indeed we start to push up, then I'll kill this one and call that one. But obviously sometimes, you know, depending on how steep the channel is, sometimes these things feather off and come down at a less steeper angle. So maybe this, I mean, I like the way it touches the bottom. We touch in, 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 touch in. So who knows? We'll see. If we keep bouncing off this, then below 44.24 next support, 44.15, 44.15. So you think we're coming down? See what happens here. We still haven't broke that low yet. Okay, it is bounced there again. So if it breaks down below here, then I'd say, we'll see. Oh, it's getting close. It's a tick away. But as I say, there is some very strong liquidity at 19. Very strong. It's bright red. In fact, it's more like 20 actually. Okay, so we have broke below there, so maybe it'll get a bit low before it drops. Or it's possible that could be a triple test, but at the moment we're still making lower highs, so I can't think about going long at the moment because from what I'm seeing, I think it's more likely going to come down. I can micro adjust that a touch. Okay, yeah, I can see some more downward stuff. Okay. Think he was giving up bullish flip here. Yes, it's not. See, depending on how you get how you draw these, initially I had that larger, so I've just adjusted it, that's all. But I am aware that on the larger channel we've had a break and then maybe two pushes to a new low. So I am aware we may get a new low and then we may go off in this direction, but we'll see. At the moment, until I'm told otherwise, I expect it to continue to come down, certainly to this area here. Or this could be a fell breakout and push up. That's possible. It's clearly bouncing off this area now. The bit that would make me nervous about that is we're still making lower highs, but it may work. Hmm. Bulls are going to pay today. Looks that way, doesn't it? Get rid of that for a minute. Okay, so depending on what your thoughts are here, possibly second entry short from here. Don't know at the moment. I want to give it a chance to push out just in case that bigger channel is still valid, in which case we've made a break. I mean, I do like the way that's fitted in there. It certainly fits quite nice at the top. Touch, 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 touch at the bottom. I'd just rather give this chance to push up out of here, thinking that maybe we've had a break and two pushes down. Tempting to short here. I kind of open the bar finishes naff. There is a dark area here of less liquidity, which market moves through a lot more freely. It's finished naff anyway, so I'm quite glad in a way. Okay, we may get a push up here. Okay, little short micro channel with a break. A new high bearish bar, second entry short. So tempted to take this, but I want to give it a chance to push up some more because it's like a leg of leg. It's making me nervous. Trouble is, I have readjusted that channel there, and that is a small break. So it's been bottoming here, and we've broken that bottom. So I just don't know. Ordinarily, it's a trade I'd probably take, but it's just something about it. This whole area that's making me a bit nervous. Because if it has broken out of this larger channel, we've had some pushes down, then it may then obviously move up. So there's a failed second entry short there. See if that triggers. Maybe that traps some longs. Tell you what I haven't done today. Let's reload my historic. Screwed that up. Okay, so there's a failure there, which is triggered. So if it pushes above there, I'm going to get rid of this channel. Up 1,000 down the eval. Good for you, mate. Trading really aggressively while there's a sale on. Yeah, I think everybody does a bit. I was even talking, I know people like Daniel. I think he trades his evals a little bit more aggressively. I heard him say sometime, I don't know whether he said it on something or whether he told me it, I don't know, but yeah, I'm trading the full 10 contracts. If you can get 3 2-point trades and maybe a couple of extra ticks, you've passed it. So I tend to do, especially when they're only like $16. I'd like to get them out of the way. I traded one earlier and got $1,500 off it. I traded one, well, that's what it's on now with the trade I've just won. But I traded one earlier this morning. Was it yesterday? I did start it yesterday, and it's $10 or just under $10 shy. So that'll give me 7 of them then. I do allow for the odd loss one, because what I do is, if I can get one, I've got one at just under $2,500 now. If I can get that to around $3,000, I want to take a $2,000 payment because I'm just sick of putting money in. So what I might do is take a $2,000 payment from that one, and that'll give me then some more money to buy some more and put in. But I'm just sick of paying all the time. So, but it'll make that one a little bit lower. It'll make that one only about $1,000. But I'm trying to at least do another eval or 2 every week. That way, if one does get a bit cut short, I can replace it pretty quickly. I'm just trying to take some money out of it so I can reinvest rather than keep putting money in all the time. So, Interesting. Okay, so we did take that failure. Now, it's not the best looking signal bar, but on your chart, that might look a bit better. So, especially with that big bearish bar there. But to be honest with you, the market's that bearish at the moment. I'd say that's probably more. I mean, look at that. Trouble is, it's a big old signal bar. I just don't know. It's just. See, I adjusted this, and that is a little break there, so I don't know. Especially now I've adjusted it from this bigger channel. We've had to push down a few lows, so it may just decide to sort of, push up from here. Whether it will or not, I don't know. I don't know whether we end up getting something like this working up. Okay, you could call that a lower high, which is triggered. I think if it can get below that bar there, I think it's got a good chance of breaking these lows. There we go. Okay, I expect it to break these lows. I'm aware there's strong liquidity level down here, so... See, that bar for me was very tempting. It was a second entry short. We'd had a little break out of this channel. It's actually like that. Breaking a new high. And I loved how bearish that was. So if you'd have held on to that, that would have worked for at least a couple of points. And if we get below there as well, then I could see some lower stuff. But trouble is, see, usually when we break a big channel, a lot of the times we'll make a new low and then we'll push up in the other direction. But if it's a really strong bearish day, it'll continue down, and sometimes it just readjusts its angle. So it's about finding something that kind of looks okay. Now, the trouble is, if you keep readjusting and readjusting, you can get yourself in a bit of trouble. So maybe that's like that. Because at some point it could have a break. Okay, so if you're coming from here, it's close enough there, touchy. Yeah, I'm just not sure about this channel now. All I know is we're continuing down by the looks of things. It does look like it's trying to find a bottom, doesn't it? It did there a little bit. It seemed to be bouncing on the same sort of area. And it's doing it the same, but I don't know. It's just starting to get a little bit sideways and a bit choppy. It's lost its sort of strength, and that's what's making me a bit nervous. Yeah, there's a failure there, but a bit too far for the EMA for me. We could just keep going, really. see if I can find some legs here. There isn't really, is there? Can't fall asleep here. That's a lot of down stuff in the day, isn't it? Well, so far. So not a tremendous amount, actually. It's getting more sort of sideways than downwards at the moment. It is working down, but it's getting very sidewaysy, so that's just making me a bit nervous about taking shorts here. Did look at that one, and it did work, and then maybe the lower high, but it's a little bit sideways here, isn't it? So, and obviously it seems to be bouncing off a level there, and then we broke below it and pushed up, so you just don't know, do you? So it's just, I'm just going to have to leave alone at the moment and just see what happens, whether we're going to get a move up or not, I don't know. Maybe. It's got tossed off a rhythmic and can't connect. I think you can still trade without rhythmic on. I never used to have it on. I have it on now, but I never used to. I don't know if it shuts down. It didn't used to, because I never used to have it on at some point when I was trading the valuations. Now I trade PAs, obviously I have it on as just an extra backup. But if something goes wrong or something freezes, first thing I do is just jump onto the Apex site and click flatten everything. At least they have a record of that. And then I just try and shut everything down, cancel everything. Finance, you have record temps in the UK. Not at the moment, bud. What is it here at the moment? It's doesn't say at the moment. Let me have a look on here. Temperature in the UK at the moment, it's just 21 degrees C and windy, so not at the moment. Last year we had 40, just under 42 degrees centigrade, which is hot wherever you are in the world. But not at the moment. But I know you have in Canada, haven't you? You've had some real hot. It's funny. I always associate Canada with snow, you know, because it's still quite north, isn't it? But I suppose parts of it is. Last year we did, 40. Was it just a fraction under 42 degrees? I think 38 was the previous. But I remember I was down, where was I? Nottingham way, or was I North London or something at the time? And I remember I was driving at the time. I got out an air-conditioned cab and it felt like a wall of heat hit me. It was uncannily hot. Now, I can put up with any amount of heat. I don't mind it. It's the nights that I find it hard. All fans do in the UK is just blow the hot air around. See, we don't have warm enough temperatures for a long enough period of time to warrant having air conditioning. I know a lot of places, you guys are over in the States, air conditioning, I suppose, is comes part and parcel with a house. But over here, it doesn't really. That's not to say you can't have it fitted, but I know a friend of mine's got one of these the portable ones, and it's so expensive to use. It cost him, I think he worked out having it on something like 6 hours a day. It was about £200 a month, something like that, extra on his electric bill, but I don't know. I suppose it just replaces. I mean, you have heating on in the summer, perhaps the perhaps the balances. You have air conditioning on, but I mean, if we had regular hot weather like that, you know, in and around sort of 40 degrees, then obviously, you know, the UK would be different, and maybe sometime in the future, global warming and all that, then maybe things will change. But it's just not warranted at the moment in the UK, really. I'm struggling to get anything that fits nice here anywhere. I tried that one, but it just keeps popping out the top, which tells me something's not right with it. I'm a little bit unsure as to what's going on here. I think what I might be better off doing is just concentrating on the smaller stuff for the time being. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of trading these little breakouts because I don't know whether they're the breakout to push up because we've already had a break. Yeah. Sometimes these charts can be a pain. I don't usually have a problem with them, but sometimes they can be a right pain in the arse to get to work. Typically boring big trend day for scalpers. Yeah, it is a bit. Unless you've entered early, and maybe, yeah. But the trouble is, if we knew it was going to do this, we'd all be throwing money at it early, wouldn't we? But it is frustrating. I know what you mean. You see that massive move down. I mean, I took a trade there, didn't I? Let me have a look. If I'd have held that, that would have worked. Yeah, I mean, if I'd have held that, I could have been sitting on, well, not as much as you think, actually, 16 points. But you never know these things are going to happen. In hindsight, if we could all read the markets like that, we'd all be sitting in palaces, wouldn't we? You live in Canada, excuse me, from 98, 2012, got dual citizenship. Useful. Yeah, I always associate Canada with cold temperatures because it is so far north. But I mean, the further north you go, I mean, if you go across from Canada, you know, if you go east from Canada, you're pushing above our north coast and sort of towards Iceland and places like that. It's the same sort of level towards the top of the planet. But I suppose Canada's a big place, isn't it? I suppose there are areas north which tends to see a lot colder weather, but probably the southern part of Canada, you probably see, you know, sort of some warmer sun areas. I think you probably get a big balance of warm and cold, don't you? Let's go birch down. Does that mean let's go down, bitch? Is that what you mean? Almost 40 degrees out there. Not cold at all, is it really? Ooh. Yeah. I got to say the hottest weather I've ever experienced was in I went to Kenya once, Christmas it was. It's sort of, and that was ridiculously hot. And you were constantly wet. I know it's the only place I've ever been on holiday where we've had our air conditioning on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you come out and it's like a wall and you're constantly damp all the time. You're wet. Your clothes are wet. Everything's wet. And I've never experienced warm seas like the Indian Ocean. But I know places like sort of Middle East and that get hot. Hot, humid summers, yeah. As I say, I've never quite understood it. Like in the UK, we get a warm day. It's cool upstairs. And as soon as the hot sun goes and it cools down, the upstairs seems to get hotter. I never quite understood that. You think, yeah, it just never makes sense. But no, electric's expensive in this country at the moment. See, so, you know, these little portable ones, they just cost you an arm and a leg. That's just you can pay £200 a room just by putting it on for 5 or 6 hours a day. Well, £200 a month, put on 5 or 6 hours a day. You imagine that times 3 in 3 rooms, you're paying £600 a month. So that's $750, $800 a month just to keep yourself cool. But we do have a pool in the garden. It's not as quite as extravagant as it sounds. It's just one of those Intex steel frame ones that's 12 foot round and about 1 metre deep. And we've got like a sand filter which keeps it crystal clear. And if it gets too hot, I just go and have a dump in there. I do, or dump in it. Go and have a jump in there. I know last year when we had that hot weather, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning. It was thunder and lightning, and I was in the pool watching the light show. Not the ideal place to watch thunder and lightning, but it was in the distance. But if I can't sleep at night, I just go and have a dump in the pool. I do. Or dunk in the pool, shall I say. And it's great to have a float around and keep yourself cool. I don't know how this thing's fitting at the moment. It's going down, but with a bit of a sideways action, which is making it a bit hard to read tops and bottoms. Let's go back to my original plan, see if that helps at all. I got there, didn't I? Yeah, it still kind of fits okay there. Maybe a bit lower. Trouble is, you can make this fit however you do, but I think it's important to appreciate the fact that we may have had a break. At some point, it may decide to move up, and I don't want to be going short if we've already had a break. Cold air is heavier than hot air. That's why upstairs gets hot, or so hot. But the trouble is, in the height of the day, when it's at its hottest, upstairs is cool. But then when the heat goes from outside, why does it get hotter inside? I don't quite understand that. It doesn't seem to... It's one of those things I can't seem to explain. Yeah, it sort of fits. It's probably as good as I've got at the moment. We come from here, touch the, probably take that down a fraction. We've touched a bunch of times there, touch there, touch there. It's a bit steeper there, but I don't know. What do I know? Yes, is going low. Well, I'm not seeing any sign of anything but. So the trouble is that the further this thing goes down, the more you think, "Ooh, do I really want to be entering right the way down here?" And then you look back later in the day, and it moves down another 20 points. So, trouble is, on a bit, if you know it's going to be a big downtrend, the higher up you enter, the sort of better you are, really. Whenever you get the confidence in a decent setup to go short, the thing starts to bloody move up. Yeah, liquidity is as low as 17 that I can see at the moment. In fact, probably touch lower. But as I say, it does keep moving. So let's it's about 20 there, what I can see at the moment. So if we can break through these levels, but the trouble is sometimes we seem to be bottoming, don't we? And that's what makes me nervous. And same with that again. Look, it's sort of finding a little bit of support there, which makes me a bit nervous about going short. So I missed that MMA. Goes down to minus 40 to plus 40. Yeah, you have got a real mix. Wow. That's about as from one end of the extreme to the other as you can get, isn't it? But I suppose Canada's a big place. Obviously, it makes sense. The further you go north, the colder it is. The further you go south, the warmer it is. It's a big old place, isn't it? UK is quite small. I think it was about 850 miles from the top of the UK to the bottom, so there's not a massive change. I mean, generally, as a rule, towards Scotland, it might shift a couple of degrees, but sometimes on the south coast it'll be 18 degrees. Sometimes the tip of Scotland can be 20 degrees. So, but generally, the further south it goes, the cooler it is. Sorry about that. My wife just came in. Okay. -40 this winter will easily hit 40. Yeah, I mean, that's hot, isn't it? I got to say, a lot of people say they like the UK because we do get a good balance of weather. And when you've had a long, hot summer, sometimes it's nice to get those cooler, fresher nights. And then when you've had a cold winter, you know, as soon as spring hits, you get that lovely, you know, nice summery feeling. So I like the fact that we have you know, whereas places in the Middle East, like, you know, the place, as you know, I'd love to go to, Dubai. Well, from what I've been told, they don't have heating or any types of heaters in Dubai because it never gets cold enough. I think even in the cooler temperatures, it's still above 20 degrees, and obviously in the summer. So it's not the place to go if you quite like your cold, crisp weathers, cold, crisp mornings. It's still working down, isn't it? Well, I think I've got to realise that it may not look like a fantastic range that fits or trend that fits, but we're still generally getting high highs and low lows. It did rain for 2 weeks, perfect weather. Yeah, if you like your rain, you'd love the UK. We invented pissing it down. Okay, so yeah, I don't like this. It looks like it's bottoming, doesn't it? You see what I mean? We get all this bit down here, and then we had a quick break and a strong push up. So it looks to me like it's, you know, people are trying to push it higher. So whether there's anything in that or not, I don't know. But same again here, we seem to be bottoming here. And that just makes me a bit nervous. Are we trying to push up? And then obviously it's the same there. We're building up some quite a bit of support there. So I'm a bit. What I don't want to do is what I'm finding is I know what a good setup looks like. Like yesterday, I seemed to feel a bit impatient yesterday, and the fact that I changed down from trading my normal 5p accounts to trading the 1 told me that I felt a little bit more like taking a risk, and I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to just focus on waiting for a good setup and taking it. So I've taken a trade. I got 6 ticks. So I'm nicely up over 5 accounts. That's $750. So I'm trying to just not take anything stupid. If something comes up, then great. If it doesn't, I'm just going to leave well alone. But I'm just still battling with that patience sometimes. It's getting better, but I was listening to that Vince again, and he really struggled. He really struggled. He said he put thousands into it, trying to learn to trade. Blew dozens, multiple accounts, lost tons of money, and it took him about 5 years before he really started to come consistent. Called himself the king of setups. Okay, possible second entry short. I still don't like this. It's still congested for me. We've had a push down though, and we've made 2 attempts to go, well, 3 if you take that. 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. You could call that a triple test, really. Excuse me. But if I'm honest with myself, it doesn't feel good. 1, 2, 3, because it's congested, and at some point we may have a break, and I don't want to be on the receiving end of a break. Second entry short. See, it might not be a bad trade to take. We've come down and we've made 1 attempt, 2 attempts, 3 attempts. But do I want to shy away from a trade just because I'm a bit nervous? No, it's congested to me. Leg down, 1 leg, 2 legs. See how the bar finishes. But that's an area where I'll only be going for 2 points. No, I'm leaving alone there. I think it's congested. We've got a leg down. Try to go once, try to go twice, try to go 3 times. I'm just not a fan, really. It is a second entry short. It's probably not a bad trade, but there's not much room to the lows. Now it may continue to go down. It looks like it's going to, but it's just a bit congested for me. A little bit of danger. Just consolidating. Yeah. I'm just not a fan. Now, did it make 2 points? Yeah, I think so. But just... oh, no, it didn't. Oh, it's just barely made 1 point. Right, these are 1 point, aren't they? Let's that ATR's that bloody low, that's why. So let's string that out a bit. Let's squeeze it together, sorry. Okay, there's our 2 points. So no, that made... You struggle to make... Well, it's a point there. You went from the bottom of there, so you wouldn't have got a point scalp on that as it stands. So I'm quite glad I stayed out of that. Although it triggered, but then it's pushed up a bit. So to me, it's going a bit sideways. I'm unsure about what's going on here. So it was a good decision to leave that. Harjit just consolidating to get in longs here and take out their stops. Yeah, excuse me a sec. Yeah, good decision to leave that. That triggered you and then stuffed you good and proper. Oh, if we've got any Australians here, we've just lost another wicket. Ooh, we might win this game. Good on you, Woody lad. Yeah, it's a bit messy, isn't it? Yeah, see, the fact that it's doing that is making me nervous, really. You don't want to be trading in that, especially when you haven't got nowhere near. I mean, that went to the lows, but there just wasn't enough there. I don't mind taking trades like that, but there's got to be enough room to get out, and there was barely a point, so... Yeah, I like that trade. It was nice, that. Pushed down, made one attempt to go higher, made a second attempt to go higher, second entry short, nice big berry, well, you could say, I don't know. But I like that. You say just consolidating to get the longs in and hit their stops. If you went long there, you did all right out of that, didn't you? Although that ATR is very low. If you bought there, yeah, barely 2 points. That's the trouble with the ATR. The ATR's low. The risk's low, but you seem to have to go a lot further to get your 2 points. Okay, bearish bar there. Not something I really want to get into. I just don't exactly know how this channel's working. It's somewhere within that. I mean, if you went from here, we touched here, touched here, touched here. I I just don't like this. It's trying to push up to me. And if that breaks above there, then I'd say I don't think it'll be long before we may start to get some upwards movement. Fell break high and nice signal bar. Yeah, I saw what you mean there. Little breakout, maybe go short there. But that's bothering me, that. Yeah, that's going to stop that out for sure. It wouldn't go that high and not stop it out. It's one tick off there. See, if that holds, I mean, that'll be the skin of the teeth. Yeah, see, it's just not looking right to me. But I see what you mean. Normally, that'd be a lovely trade there. We're clearly going sideways. Fell breakout. Come back in, but it's just, I don't know, something's not looking right. It's not fitting, which is why I'm not interested in taking a trade like that. It's coming down, but it's bottoming out. It tried to do it here and it continued down a bit, and now it's doing it here. So I can see, as I mentioned like 5 minutes ago, it looks to me like it's going to make some upward movement, because it is. It's trying to find areas. It's finding areas of support there a little bit, and then we get a bit sideways, and then we have a little bit lower, and then we push up again, and then a little bit lower, then we push up again. And it's getting shallower and shallower. But yeah, I expected some form of a push up at some point, just with what I'm seeing here. When it's coming down, it's finding some support. So, in fact, I may even get rid of that and just straw this now. Let's just get this out of the way. Help if I blow it up a bit, wouldn't it? So whether we're just going a bit sideways now, I don't know. Let's put that there. It might be. I mean, there might be a channel here, and this might just be a break and then a drop. I don't know, but what I do know is it's not making a great deal of sense at the moment. We've lost that initial push down a bit. So I don't know. Let's have a look. Leg up, leg up. That might not be a bad trade to take, but with this at the moment, I'm just leaving alone. I mean, if it finishes bearish, you may call that one leg, two leg. Fell break out of here, but it's just something I don't feel comfortable with at the moment. I'm up 750 over 5 accounts, so I'm quite happy with that, really. And I don't want to do something stupid, but this may make a couple of points, I don't know, but it's just something I don't like. 44.37 pending. Okay, that would make sense. It does look like we could be making a bit of a channel up here, so let's just put that. Okay, yeah, it does. That does look like a channel. Touch. There's a failure there. There's almost definitely going to be some shorts in there, so that may be a place to go long, but at the moment I'm just a little bit unsure as what's going on. So, but it's very tempting to take that push up, leg up, leg up. If it pushes above there, then we may get a bit of a move. But what size is the bar? 3. Yeah, it's a 3-point bar. I don't want to risk that at the moment. Tick below $350. That'll send me 200 in the red. I'm just letting it do its stuff at the moment because it's choppy at the moment. And when it's choppy, that's where you end up getting stopped out. So if you did take that one, it got triggered out. If you did take that one, it's triggered you. It may come down. I just don't know at the moment. There is some liquidity here, some selling at here, see, so I don't know. I did like that. I was tempted. It looked like a kind of a nice failure and it was fitting then. It may go higher, but we've had such strong down stuff. I want to give it time to work its stuff at the moment, sort itself out before I think about whether I want to go lower. And I do apologise if safety, nice and carefully, safety thoughts doesn't sound like me. Well, if you've got any cricket fans, Australia, England, sorry, Australia are batting 254 for 9, one more wicket, and they're all out. So, if there is any cricket fans in. Sania, 44.37 pending, 44.37, yeah. That would make sense. I kind of like that trade. I think it will continue up. But it's quite a big bar, and I don't really want to go into these highs at the moment because we've had such a strong downtrend. The last thing I want to do is be going long just yet. I'd rather let it push up out of here, come back, retest these tops, and maybe a couple of legs, and then move up for a second leg. Yeah, see, that could be slightly higher than that. It could be around about there. Or it could be a bit higher. Or it might not even be a range, really. We got this channel, maybe a break and a new low. In fact, let's get rid of that. It does seem like we got a channel. Maybe something like that. The break and a new low. I kind of like the way that's fitting. So let's say we've had a break and a new low. So, excuse me, I think that range is off the table at the moment. It does seem to be working in a channel here. So, unless something dramatic happens, like a quick drop, maybe there's some trap longs, and I can see that continuing up. It's a touch congested, which is making me a bit worried, but I kind of like how it fits. We'll see. Not enough to get involved in it. I did look at that. That's the bar. It would have interested me. I did look at that when it came back, thinking of getting a limit order, but it's, I don't know, it's struggling to do something which makes me concerned. It may come down and stop out some longs. I don't know. I mean, you know, it could be like a big leg down, then a load of sideways, then another leg down. I got no idea. If you get any down move around 44.20, 44.19, then you can take a long. Yeah, at the moment, yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't know what's going on at the moment, whether we are going to continue lower or whether we're going to continue up. It is starting to look like it's got some upwards momentum. There is a chunk of liquidity around this 44.30 area, so I think it's likely it's going to push up. But there is a dark patch around here with not a lot of liquidity, and from what I gather, price can move through it quite quickly. So it just concerns me when it's sideways that we get a quick drop. I don't think we will, but anything's possible. If you get any down move around 44.22, yeah. 44.19 stop loss, then you can take a long, yeah. 44.22 yeah. Well, I mean, normally if we had a channel up like that and if we got a break out of it, I generally would. But at the moment, it is going up, but it's just a bit congested for me, which is making me a bit nervous. So the trouble is with that ATR's that low, to get 2 points, it's got to make quite a move. So if you put your order one tick above there, you're still not out yet. You got to get above there. Which it looks like you might get. See, my concern is it just goes bang. Trouble is, because we've had such strong down movements, you get a big move up and you get some, some buyers in here, and all of a sudden the thing just flushes and takes them all out. I hate it when it goes like this, up a bit, slow a bit, and it looks precarious, doesn't it? Oh, it went. There we go. Let's have a look at this. What's going on? Okay. Yeah, it may just be something like that. Quite often see that, don't we? Big strong push down, slightly further out and then up. So pushed up quickly and then came back. So let's see what happens now. Edward, I've been looking at Apex accounts and cannot see how you make a one-off payment for the account. Renewal charge every day. Right, the one-off payment, yeah. So if you take an Apex evaluation, you pay, it's about $16 at the moment. Now, if you haven't passed it, at the end of the month, it goes down to 80%, so you'll pay about $33. Now, if you pass it to a PA, you've got two options. You either pay £80 a month, or sorry, $80 a month, or yeah, $80 a month, or you can pay a one-off fee of $140. That's based on a $50,000 account. $50,000 account. I think that's what you mean. I've been looking at Apex accounts and cannot see how you make one-off payment for the account, only renewal charge. Yeah, it's the renewal charge for the evaluation. So if you pass it in a month, which you should do, but it goes down, yeah. So you pay every month if you continue to trade that account for 30 days, but it's 90% off for the first month and 80% off for any reoccurring months of that particular evaluation if you're still trading it. So I hope that helps, mate. If it's not clear, then just hit me again and I'll try and explain it a bit better. But the one-off payment is for the PA. I think that's what you mean. Okay. Short 44.31. Yeah, I can't at the moment because we're just going up at the moment. But if there is any cricket fans out there, Australia are all out for a 250 something. And if none of you know what cricket is, forget I just said that. But that's looking positive for England. Evals are monthly only. PAs have both options. Correct. But you only pay the monthly thing until you pass it. So, I mean, you should pass it in a month. Depends. So I know people who still trade in their account. If you look at what's his name, the guy that trades Sniper and Simplicity. What's his name? He was a streamer for a while. Oh, what's his name? I forget his name now. It was trading a $25,000 account for about 2 or 3 months, I think. And it was down by about $1,500, something like that, or $1,000. And so some people are quite happy to. It's not a bad thing to have the patience to keep trading. But I think what a lot of people do, if they don't blow the account, if it's in arrears or lower, come the end of the month, then sometimes they'll just blow the account and start a fresh one. It works out cheaper, but it's a personal thing, that. But I know people like Daniel, who I believe makes a ton of money and is a very good trader. He rushes them, tries to get them done quicker, and I do. So everybody's different, especially at today's prices. I mean, it's 90% off. I don't think it'd be long before they're giving us 100% off, to be honest. But it's about $16, so it's about £12.5 English. It's nothing really. That'll get you about 3 pints of beer at a push. So it's not a lot really, and sometimes I like to get mine out of the way because then I can just do 1 micro a day and then concentrate on my PAs. But it's a personal thing. I tend to trade mine at 10 contracts. If I get 3 2.25 point trades, winning trades, I've passed. Or sometimes if I can see maybe a big move, I'll go in all out 10 contracts, pick up 2 or 3 points. You've only got to do that twice and it's passed. But it's a personal thing. Some people are slow and steady, very small, and other people, dive in head first. So the option for the one-off payment is for the funded, correct? Yeah. And once you pass, you'll get an email, usually the following day, saying congratulations. And then it'll direct you. Then you pay a fee, then it'll direct you. And the one-off payment for the $50,000 account is $140. As those accounts are higher, so the 75,000, 100, that one-off payment goes up, but the monthly payment stays the same. So if you think you're going to last longer than 30 days, you're better off paying the one-off payment. But if it may be your first one and you've blown a lot of evals, then it may be, it may be good to just pay the $80 and save the $60, $70 or whatever it is, $60. It depends on you, really. You'll know whether, but I think in all fairness, people will blow a lot of evaluations. Then they might start picking up the odd PA account. Then they'll blow those and they'll continue on that road till they maybe pass one, and they'll get a payout. And then they may blow a few more, then they might get another payout or two. And I think that's how it generally works. You build on it, you get better and better and more patient. Okay, that's fitting there quite nice. I just can't think about going short at the moment. What did you say, Sandy? Short at 43.31. Which is there. See, I'd expect to push up again to break these highs. Where did you put your stop loss? Yeah, short 43.31. Depends where you put your stop loss, but I'd say, based on that bullish bar there after a break, I'd expect to make a new high. Now, there is some liquidity I can see around about 32, so I think it's likely that's probably gonna, if it breaks that high, I'd say it will likely hit that, or it may trap a load of longs in there and drop like a stone. Who knows? But I'd say for me, this is still looking like it's going to break a new high, but it depends on where you guys put your stops. If you go there, I think Sania puts his stop about 3 points above, so I'm guessing his stop is probably going to be about there. So if he's shorted there, 31, if that thing moves, then his stop is going to be about there. But I think that fits quite nice in there, and I'd say usually, as we know, you'll get a break and a new high. I mean, I was watching an interview with Darryl Martin yesterday on some guy's channel, and Darryl Martin says he blew loads of funded accounts evaluations himself, because before Apex he traded with Lilu, and he said he blew loads of them. And I think there was a guy on one of the Apex accounts that said he'd just blown his 25th PA account, and some guy said Darryl Martin blew way more than that while he was trading with him on Lilu. So just because you're blowing accounts and you're struggling doesn't mean you're not going to do well at it overall. It's just learning to sort of manage those emotions and work on that discipline, which we're all trying to do better. We can all improve. So there could be a second entry long here, one leg down, two legs down, and a push up higher. It always makes me nervous when Sania says short here, because in all fairness, he's usually right. So it does make me a bit nervous. But my picture's telling us we've got a channel in, we've had a break. And usually, in most cases, we make a new high. Now, the overall picture of today so far has been bearish, so this could just be a little bit of a correction, so we could get a push, a break and a push, and then maybe down. So there's so many things it could do the rest of the day, so I really don't know. Didn't know that about Daramart. Yeah. Yeah, he'd blown... I did take a screenshot of it. Somebody said in the Apex, one of the Apex Facebook groups, I've just blown my 25th PA account, and this guy said that used to trade with Daryl. He went, Daryl blew way more than that when he was trading at Lulu. And there you go. Daryl's a consistently profitable, I'd say makes a lot of money trading. He doesn't need to trade, in all fairness. He'll make enough money out of out of Apex, but yeah, he makes a lot of money. I was watching him trade something, and he at the time he'd made $15,000 that day so far. So if he's done that on multiple accounts, then who knows what he's making. Okay, so there is a second entry long there, but to be fair, this is too choppy for me. It's clearly sideways, but I would say the way it's pushed back to the EMA, trigger below that short, I'd say it's likely going to break this high. And if it does, it'll hit them liquidity areas there. It is a second entry long, but it's a risky long to take because you haven't got much room to the highs. The overall day has been bearish so far, so it could continue down. And on top of all that, it's clearly congested, so don't think he told us his stop. I think he usually puts his stop 3 points ahead of his order. So if his order's here, his stop will be 3 points above that. So if it does break these highs, he may be okay. Now, obviously, Sania knows what he's doing. And he takes in consideration for all this. Okay, so there's a new high there. There is some liquidity there. So whether it hits that and comes down, I got no idea at the moment. But quite often see days like this, and usually it'll go like that. You know what I mean? Well, I say usually. Sometimes it will. So it may do that, or it may push down a couple of legs and then down some more. Who knows? Is Harjit not Sania? No, they're two different people. I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah. Yeah, see, could end up doing something like that. I got no idea whether it's going up or down at the moment. All I know is it's going sideways, and when it goes sideways, it can do anything. Ah, gotcha. I got you. Harjit call 43.31. Yeah, he said short there. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's Sania or Harjit that puts their stop about 3 points above here. My only slight concern is we've had such a strong downtrend, and it's sort of feathered out a bit, so we may we may get a leg up, and we could have like two legs of correction and another leg up. It's possible. there is a big dark area up here, and there is some liquidity up here, so I don't know really. But a lot of the times when we get this, we may end up getting something like that, which it could continue up. I don't know. If I was a betting man, I'd say it's likely maybe to continue a bit higher. But I wouldn't put a trade on it, put it that way, because it is still sideways. Yeah, trouble is, we don't normally with our, well, that is max, short a particular area rather than an actual signal bar. So for instance, maybe there, that's the trouble. See, our strategy generally doesn't call for us, well, it doesn't call for us to just, short at a certain level. Now I know obviously a lot do, but if we were going to short from here, it would maybe be this bar or that bar or something like that. But the trouble is, we've had such a strong downtrend, but it's feathered out, and it was trying to find some bottom there and some bottom here and here. So I wouldn't be shocked if we have a leg and another leg. I mean, that to me looks like a two-legged correction. So we could go up quite a bit higher. Whether we will or not, I don't know. Let's have a look. See, we've sort of got a leg down and then another leg down. So it is possible we could do that. I don't know whether we will. And if we did get somewhere close, if the stop's there, that stop's gone anyway. And the way it's just continuing up after breaking these highs, I think it's likely it is going to push higher. So there is a massive order, a big chunk of orders around about the 35, excuse me, which is where I'm assuming Sania's stop is. So that's going to get close. It's 35, maybe 35 and a quarter. So it might eat up that stop. The trouble is, if we're taking a short here, that's quite a big stop for us, 3 points, especially when we haven't got a signal bar indicating where we're going lower. So that's the bit that's making me worry about going lower. Yeah, this isn't looking bearish now to me. This is looking quite bullish. Interesting. Okay, we've had a break this and we've pushed up. We've also got a second entry short there. We've bottomed out there a couple of times. We've got a second entry short. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Whether we push up. If we push up and stop this out, then I could see it having going a bit higher. I'd say that's too good an opportunity to not stop out personally. Now this may end up being a larger channel. A bit too early, I think, but yeah, so if you took that short, that stopped you out. That's telling me I'd say it's going to go a bit higher. Now, as I said, there is a massive liquidity here. So sometimes, see, these obviously are sell orders. So whether they're people taking profits from anywhere or whether they're people saying, I'm going to give it that, and then I may short up here based on what's gone on previous days or throughout the day. I don't know. Everyone's, some people trade with lots of indicators which may give them other bits of information which influence their trading. But in a lot of cases, when I see it hit these areas where they're selling, you would think a big selling area, the market would come down, but sometimes it pushes strongly through them. So I don't quite understand that. You think really you hit a bunch of, 407 orders, sell orders, you may think that will cause it to drop a bit, but often it just pushes straight through it. So I don't know. So if you put your order in there, let's get these areas right. If you put your order in there, is that 31? Yeah. That's 35. Yeah, so that's if that's where your 3-point stop is. Yeah, it's getting close to it. So you're a point away now, but I think personally, with that liquidity, it's going to hit that area and maybe even push through it. And I think it might do it with a bit of vigor as well. So it might be a leg, 2 legs of correction, another leg. I wouldn't be shocked. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So if that's where your stop was, it launched through there. I thought it might do. I don't quite understand it. Sometimes you think when it's decelerates, it's going to hit it and come down, but it actually launched through it by a point. So that's the trouble, really, when you get this. It's just, excuse me, just a couple of minutes. Sorry about that. It's all right. Daughter's just been to the doctor. She had a blood test. Everything's fine. Low on vitamin D. There we go. Delete. Oh, Sam, you can short till there's a confirmation. Oh, I don't know. Okay, it's all right. I lost my train of thought there. Okay, so who was it who went short there? Was that? Okay, so it didn't work that one anyway, but yeah, they don't all work, do they? Okay, what time is it? I'm going to knock on the end in a minute. I've done me nearly 3 hours. I can't see me taking another one. We've had a break at a new high, but I don't know. Are we going to go higher? I don't know at the moment. We've had this leg. It looked like 2 legs of correction, although they're quite close together, those. I usually prefer them further apart. And then another leg, but I don't know. Might work. Dow, PNDG, buy, target now. So, yeah. So, yeah, the trouble is, as was it Sanius? I can't remember who said buy at 20. One of them with the 3 points. The trouble is, obviously his strategy is different to ours. Now, normally, obviously, well, we wouldn't normally just short that area. Obviously, Sania knows what he's doing. He trades his obviously strategy on probably on levels. We tend to go for signal bars. Before we go short or long. We're sort of more price action traders. But that's the trouble, really. So what I would say is don't just necessarily listen to what Sani or Harjit say. Really, to trade their way, you've really got to learn their methods. Otherwise, things can get a bit complicated. And I tried it myself the other day. I mean, someone mentioned about going short. I can't remember what it is, and I ended up going short in an uptrend. And but you've got to understand how they trade, really, to trade the same as them, in all honesty. It does look like we're getting further push up here. There is a second entry long here off the key entry point. Touch. So, so normally that's a trade that I would sort of take. The trouble is, I'm just not sure at the moment. It is a second entry long. As far as I was concerned, no, it's touch. In all honesty, we probably started off with that, didn't we? So we've had a break and a new high, and there's a lower high. So I'm just a bit unsure about going long or short into this, because although I have moved that like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm correct. So that's what's making me nervous going along there. Although it is a small signal bar, that's the one saving grace. So I'm probably going to leave that because something's making me a bit nervous. Whether it's me overthinking things or not, I don't know. I have adjusted that channel, and I've got to say, some of these channels today aren't fitting really great, are they? And that's what's making me a bit nervous. Now, it looks like it's starting to move, but the trouble is with the ATR relatively low, it's got to get up here just to make 2 points. So I'm going to leave it, actually. Someone did say short up here, didn't they? So I've got that in my head anyway. Was it? Short it. Hard, it said short it. Yeah. See, someone says, I shouldn't read the comment really. Someone says short it. I'm thinking second entry long. So that obviously my thoughts are conflicting. Yeah, it is only a 4-tick signal bar. But I just don't know. I'm not convinced I've got that channel right. And really, touch one's touch. It's only really confirmed there, but as it confirmed, because it doesn't fit as great as I would like it to fit. So let's just see, if you went 1 tick above there, you'd have to get, okay, right up to here to make you 2 points. But I don't know, I'm just not a fan with what's going on at the moment. If it hits there, you'd have got your 2 points, but I don't know, I'm quite comfortable at the moment. Because it is just, I don't know, it's just getting a bit choppy. I don't know, we've had a lower high there, I'm just not a fan of it. And when I get that feeling something's making me a bit nervous, I tend to stay out of it. And it might probably work. It looks like it's going to. It is, but I'm not a fan of the... And I'll tell you why. I had that channel drawn like that. And that kind of fitted nice. Then we've had a break and a new high. Then we'd get a lower high. So we've technically that has already played out, and that's what's making me nervous. It's been a bit hard to read these. Some of these channels aren't making a lot of sense. Yeah, that looked like a nice channel to me. Then we've had a break and a new high. So another tick or two, another couple of ticks, and that'll have worked. But I don't know. It's just I'm a bit nervous. So you'd have to push through there, really. So if you went 1 tick above there, let's say there, see, you'd have to push above there, really. It might just blast through it. I think it will. And it is a small signal bar, but the fact that we've had this break and a new high is just making me nervous. Because we've had such a downtrending day, you don't know whether we're going to have just a push up a break and then maybe some more to the downside, I don't know. You went long above 44.31. You went long above here. Oh, here. Yeah. 44.31. So, yeah. I'm not convinced that I've got my channel in the right area. That looks like a nice channel to me. We've had a break and a new high. So, and then we get a lower high. So I'm just a bit nervous. Which is not a bad thing. Sometimes I tend to be the other way, sometimes a little bit too risk averse. And if I get slightly nervous about something, if I listen to it, it usually keeps me in good stead. That's the 2 legs with correction in the midline you spoke about earlier. Two legs correction in the midline. Not sure what you mean there. The trouble is, when you extend these, if you're not right, they can get you into trouble. Put that there normally, wouldn't you? Yeah. Yeah, it's been a bit hard to read. At least I'm up, so that's good and positive. I've taken one trade. Yeah, I initially see I had that drawn like that, and that to me fitted quite nice. Let's have a look. Sometimes if you close it up like that, tighten it, it looks better. Yeah, that works quite nice. And then we've had a break and a push up and a new high. So we've had a new high. Now, sometimes if we get two legs down and I go long here and it triggers me and comes down, I'll post my trade and someone will say to me, that channel had played out. We've already had a break and a new high. So that's the trouble. We might have a new high, might try to go once, triggers that, try to go twice, and then down because the overall for the day has been down. So that's the trouble. See, sometimes if that lost, people would go say, well, why did you go long? We'd already had a break in a new channel. So, you know, it's a bit, yeah, I admit the channel's wider now. Now we've pushed up and we've come down and pushed up some more. But at the time, I had to treat it as a break and a new high. So technically, it's played out. The trouble is, it takes time. It takes time to get your head around these, to learn, to make mistakes. It's not something that happens overnight, and you're constantly learning and improving, you know. It's not black and white. There's so many grey areas to navigate, and it takes time to understand how these things properly work and move. And you're learning all the time. You'll make mistakes sometimes. No, your channel off the red. Hey. No, your channel off the red doji isn't valid. Channel off the red doji. I'm not sure what you mean, mate. That's a wider channel. It fits actually quite nice. I don't quite know what you mean. It doesn't fit well. Let's just get rid of these. You were up nicely. No reason to taking the trade. Yeah. Don't mind. Yeah. Absolutely. And even that Vince guy, the one that drew $800,000 out that, he said he was the master of resets. So don't think people that make a lot of money have found trading easy. They haven't. It takes time for everybody. Okay, so we touched here, touched here, touched here, touch. I can't see how that's not valid. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. What, you haven't? Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. Initially, I had that. And initially, it fitted, didn't it? And then we had a break. So that's... I don't know how many times I've gone short. Sorry, we've had a break, gone up, had two legs down, and I've got long here, and it's triggered me and come down and stopped me out. And I've said, why is that failure... why is that long not worked? And someone will say, because we've already had a break of the channel and a new high, so that channel's played out. So I know what you're saying, but because I'm up and I don't want to, you know, finish tonight in the red, if something doesn't feel right, then I'm quite happy to leave it alone. You never lose money from not taking a trade. But yeah, it's been quite hard to read actually. I mean, obviously we could see we're clearly in a downtrend, but it wasn't the best fitting one at times. And then we had a break and a new low. Does that mean we're pushing up? Sometimes we'll have a couple of legs up and then continue down some. There's so many different variables in trading. It's not black and white. There's so many grey areas. Now this may just continue rocket up. You may take that as a higher low, but it's if I took that and it failed, it'd be because it was close to the highs. It would be a spike and chart start off. Yeah, but okay, I've done my 3 hours anyway. I just it's very choppy, side down a bit, sidewaysy, choppy, down a bit more, sidewaysy, choppy, down a bit more, sidewaysy. It's a bit all over the place today. I like that trade. We had a break, new high, bounced off, double top like that after that big push down, a couple of legs up. I like that, and it came down. The nice trades just tend to work because there's a lot of people in them and they just tend to work nice. Another second entry short there, that worked okay. Just because it works doesn't, well, know that. But we'd had this channel here. We made a couple of pushes up. A short-term, a small channel. We had a break and a new high, bearish bar. I mean, look, I'm not telling you my trades are right or your trades are wrong. You make your own decisions. But I like the trade. I took it. So, it's up to you guys what you take. I mean, I'm not here, I'm not here teaching you or showing you how to do. This is just, this is just what I'm seeing, what I look at. We're all learning. We all learn at different levels. We all see different things. Some of us are better at other things and whatever. Uh, 44.37. I might knock on there. Actually, I usually do me 3 hours. I know at least I'm up for the day. Yesterday was a bit of a rocky start, but I ended up doing all right in the end. I took that triple test. Not many people, I don't know about you guys, but some of the streamers didn't take that for some reason. I thought it was a beautiful trade. Map Market liked it as well. Please tell me, which one was it? It's actually changed. It was that one. It looked, actually, it had a bearish pin bar on there, but it's changed since the what's it? I think that was it there, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that was it. We had that push down. 1, 2, 3. Bearish bar. Perfect measured move. I love that trade. I took 4.5 points out of it. But what's it didn't mark it. None of the other streamers marked it or even noticed it. Penguin didn't message it. I thought it was lovely. Mac marked it, said it was a nice trade, nice clear triple test and a big drop, but no one else mentioned it. Well, none of the other streamers mentioned it, but I really like it. We got a leg down, tried 3 times, nice big bearish bar, and then just tanked. But there you go. So that'll do me today. It's a bit tricky to read at times. We're clearly coming down, but sometimes when it has those little tiny bars, I don't know, it make me a bit nervous sometimes. It didn't, it's hard to get it to fit at times. So there we go. That's me for the day anyway. At least I'm up. I should have a good evening. I'm going to go and sit and have a nice single malt in the garden and have my dinner. I was about to enter that triple top, but I got a phone call and got distracted. Triple top. That one there. You're going to go short there. So whoever phones you, you can thank them. That one, yeah. Trouble is, when you've had such a big downtrend, it's quite hard to ignore the fact that it may be just a couple of legs and some more, isn't it? We just don't know. You never quite know what's going to happen, really. And if we did have all the answers, so... but there you go. Does seem like it's working higher now, so... now next, 44.66, right up here. I wouldn't be shocked. Did you say 44.66? Yeah. So we're right up here somewhere. But yeah, we quite often see that, don't we? That big curl in a day. So it may just continue up that. But if you're in it, maybe there or somewhere. Good luck to you. Oh, I got you. Yeah. It was. I really liked it actually. We had a nice leg down, 3 clear pushes up, bearish bar, and then we had that other leg down, which is what. See, a lot of the times I take in 2 points, but I look back on some of my videos, and my average profit was a lot more. So I decided yesterday I'm going to go back to the way I used to trade a bit and just let it move. So we had that sort of leg down, didn't we, to there, and then we had another leg down to there, and I got out for 4.5 points. It was actually a bearish pin bar yesterday. I got out for 4.5 points, which was about here. So we'd had a good push down, and I just jammed me stopping. Whereas I'd have got 2 points, so I've got double that. So I could afford to lose another trade, really, for what I've made there. But I do seem to, when I was letting it move and then jamming my stopping at 2 or 3 points, which was effectively securing myself a scalp, and then if it does move down, just sort of move bar by bar with it. And I seem to make more money. I'm struggling to get a decent size average for the day at the moment. So anyway, there we go. So that's me done for the day. Good luck if you carry on trading. I hope you get some setups, but I'm going to go and have my tea, have a nice single malt. I'm going to put my feet up, and I might watch a film tonight. So there you go. So have a great evening, folks. I hope I haven't bored you too much today. I haven't yabbered on. I have got a tendency of talking a lot. When you spend your day by yourself stuck in a room, it's quite a lonely old world. So I've given you a bit of company today. I hope you can compare your charts to mine and see what I'm doing and see what you're doing, and maybe give you a bigger overall picture. But there you go. So have a great evening. Stay safe as always, and I'll be here same time again tomorrow.